Welcome to Imagaverse, everyone. Today I'm going to be showing you a retro Windows computer. Actually, this little guy here still runs today. May not be fast, have all the latest technology, but it still works. And I'm going to be showing you the guts and glory of this computer. So, before I start, I'm going to ask you a simple question. What do you notice? Anything? Well, when I look at this computer, I notice a bunch of wires and then these big giant fat cables. Well, I'm going to be explaining what these mean. So when I first look at this computer, I see these fat cables, like this one for example. Right here. This one, right here, it's got a ribbon cable. And you will notice that it's gray with a pink band or purple at the end. That signifies that it's a ribbon cable. Alright? Okay, and this cable, imagine it being one of our red or blue thin cables nowadays. We call them SATA cables. This ribbon cable is the same exact technology as that, just it came before SATA cables, and this is what travels the data from your motherboard right into here, all the way through this cable. For this one, this leads to our DVD drive. Alright, that's how you send data through these ribbon cables. It may be a little bit slower and not a lot of speed, but it still works like a charm. And then you notice that there's these long wires. We still use them today for like graphics cards and other things like powering our fans here. But back in the day, it was used to power everything. This was the only means of power to our computers. Nowadays we use these thin, small cables that lead in using SATA technology. But before we used these cables right here. And this one connects to our hard drive right here. Let me just undo that hard drive. Well, anyways, the hard drive is right in here. If you can see that, it's right in there. This one in particular holds 80 gigabytes. For these types of computers, they can only hold about, I remember, 30 gigabytes all the way to maybe 150 gigabytes, because back then memory didn't cost much, so they didn't make a lot of storage. And if you're wondering, that on here there's a lot of these little pins right in here. Okay, if you see these pins, that is a lot of pins. This is what a ribbon cable looks like when you try connecting. You see this black band right here, all these pins, and then you notice there's a little notch, because you know that notch represents that it only goes one way. You can't put this in wrong, and if you do, well, you might break the pins. These pins actually are used to hook into your motherboard, which sends the data through this cable Sometimes they're cascading. For example, like these. It's cascading with 2. So you can put 1 in. I'm about to show you. Sometimes these things can get a little flimsy, so they can be hard to put in, because the cables itself are kind of rough. Alright, I hooked in one, and another one can be used. Alright, so you hook it in just like that, and voila! You have your data from the motherboard to your drives, and we have another one, this long one, hooked into your computer right in here. Hooked into your DVD drive. Alright. Next is, you see that there are a bunch of little components right here. There's 2 components right there. One is the video card, and another used to be where you hook in the internet. Back in the day, before we had Ethernet or any of that, you had to use dial-up, which was using your telephone to connect to the world in the back. So I'm going to show you. In the back here, you see there's 2 ports. On the one on the right, you can see, is for your phone, and the other one is for the line in that connects directly to the modem. So yes, that's how it used to be. Oh, and you notice that this graphics card has 3 ports on the end. It has a VGA, an S output, and a DVI. This one in particular does not use your standard PCI Express slot. It uses an APK slot, which is slightly different. So yeah, that's how it goes. Alright, and I think we've covered the basics. Let me just show you the I/O, all the other ports on the back. Okay, so you see all these, right? I'm going to point to one and explain. So this one is an old-time connection that you can use for your keyboard and mouse. The purple one generally used for your mouse. No, for your keyboard, my mistake. The purple is for your keyboard, and then the green one is for your mouse. The purple for your keyboard, the green for your mouse. And those are your standard USB ports, probably USB 1.1 or 2.0, not really sure. But, yeah. Then, nobody uses this anymore, but this giant purple connector, that is used for really old printers. Really outdated printers. And then, for some reason, I'm not sure why, but this computer can have Ethernet as well. But I think when this computer was made, they just came out with Ethernet, and then they still issued these ports right here, these dial-up ports. And then right here is your audio. This has surround sound, so it has your standard ports for your front, your rear, and then your subwoofer and center channel. Then we have another onboard graphics, a VGA cable for that. In case the one down here doesn't work, just use this one. And then this one, I'm not really too sure, but I know it's a COM adapter, which uses maybe for like things that are not standard, I guess. Never used it, so don't know what it is for. So, yeah. Now on the front, we have a DVD drive right here. Then we have our standard USB on the front, and then we have our mic and headphone port. Then we have our power button, and then we have the reset button, and then we have our LED lights to tell you about your hard drive and power on. So the green one means power on, and then the red one is for your hard disk drive. Oh, and by the way, this particular DVD drive is special because it has built-in headphone volume control right here. So you can connect your headphone into here and adjust this volume slider, and you can have two audio sources, one from your DVD drive, so whatever media you're playing in here, and then one from the system. And I think that covers everything. Well, see you around, YouTube.